The first item of business is the organizational matters as listed on the agenda. First, election of president would be the first item.
You want John to open it up for discussion, Willie?
It's open for discussion to the commission now at this level.
Okay, I'll make motion to make Susan Thomas the next commission president here for the commission. I'll call the question.
I really want to appreciate the opportunity not to be the president. I guess I'm not going to get that opportunity. It's kind of unusual for a first-year commissioner to get it. It's always been commissioner that's going to be up for election next. It's just a hint of how the commission's going to operate. And I'm rather stunned and hurt how these two commissioners are starting the system out. I've served 4 years, patiently waited my turn, and this is, I'd like to know why she's more qualified than me. So, happy.
I'll just call the question, Commissioner.
You know, Patsy, that's your favorite way of getting out of answering things. Again, I call why. And I nominate myself.
Two motions have been made on the floor. The first nomination was to make Susan Thomas Harrison County Commissioner. All in favor, signal by saying aye.
You have to do the second one first, before you can move on to the first one.
Okay. The second item on the second motion on the floor was to make Commissioner David Hinkle president of the county commission. All in favor, signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No. No. Second, the second motion on the floor was to make Susan Thomas Harrison County Commission president. All in favor, signal by saying aye. Aye.
I appreciate the slap in the face from you two.
Susan, the meeting is yours.
Okay, reviewed that we've already done the election of president, hours of operation for the courthouse. I don't have, I can't get on here yet.
Ms. Thompson, you might want to move over into your proper seat as the president. Because you're sitting in my seat. Well, are we going to vote on seats, Patsy?
Jim, did you put anything you want on the floor?
I'm just asking.
I had no intention to, but you're more than welcome to.
Just all I wanted to know.
Okay, hours of operation.
Our current,
I can't, now I'm trying to get in there.
all right, the current hours is 8:30 to 4:30, of course, Monday through Friday, with public access during the COVID-19 situation being 9 o'clock. That is our current hours of operation.
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Is there any further discussion?
No.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Date and time of regular meetings.
We have item B under the deviation from established schedule for Friday, September the 3rd, 2021, being open from 8:30 to 12:30 p.m. And the balance of the day paid for full-time employees. That's the Friday before the Italian Heritage Festival. We normally do that during our organizational meeting since it's a non-holiday situation.
Can I make a request on that?
Mhm.
If you remember in the past, it gets really crowded early. I think if you're gonna close, it would be better to close at noon rather than 12:30. Because if you're down there, you see what it gets like. It would make a big difference, I believe.
A motion to adopt what?
And I want to say, you might want them to come if we still have the Third Street door open,
All right, well,
because there is a lot on that, it's dangerous on that plaza. People coming into the courthouse.
And the motion to adopt the hours as stated by the county administrator as well as our assessor.
I think with the Third Street exit now open and operating, I don't understand why we would close the courthouse that day. Now that we have a second operating entrance.
The waste is one.
So my motion is
I'm-
not to close the courthouse early.
So now we have two motions again on the floor.
Um,
And bear with me, everybody.
Let's go. Motion called.
I guess we got to vote on your motion first.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. He's made a motion that due to the Third Street door being open, that the courthouse be open on that, whatever the date was. Nobody's going to second it?
Question, call the question.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
No,
Now we'll take up Commissioner Treecost's motion to close at, did you say 12:30?
as stated by Mr. Parker and, the assessor Amanda.
So is it at noon? Is that what you're? Okay. The motion has been made to close at noon on that day before the festival starts. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Mr. Parker, I oppose, but I think we have two motions that could potentially be approved. Ms. Thomas did not vote in the no.
I was gonna,
Voted in the silence, and she voted for my motion.
I was gonna ask
Bear with
that.
me.
Part of being president, Susan.
No, I got it. I can handle
So we have a conflict in motions,
We have two approved motions.
two approved motions. First motion, you're about to explain to me if it supersedes the second one.
Madam Prosecutor?
I didn't know I was supposed to be really listening. No, I'm kidding. You should follow the protocol, and David is saying the way it's supposed to be done. So make sure we vote appropriately on the motions. Give Susan some space. She's new at this. We'll get there. Right, Commissioner Hinkle?
I'm not sure. I'm not, I was more than willing to take the job, and been doing the job, and been sitting up there for 4 years, and evidently that didn't count for
Should we
anything.
revisit it, Madam?
It won't hurt.
I revisit the first motion,
it. Okay.
Which
the
is my
second
motion.
motion on the floor, which was Mr. Hinkle's.
Okay, Mr. Hinkle's motion, let's revisit.
Let's revisit Mr. Hinkle's motion
Okay,
to keep the courthouse open the full day. The motion is called again on the floor.
okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No. Susan? Yes,
Well, I
sir.
can't say no, right? Isn't that what I'm being told?
You have a choice.
Oh, no. No.
You have to,
Gee, Chris.
Sorry if I confused you.
No,
there.
that's okay. That's okay. Now we take up
Yes,
your
sir.
motion.
We need to ask you yes or no.
I said no.
Okay, thank you. Now my motion again on the floor, to follow exactly as Willie had said and
Close it
Rocky, and we close it new. All in
Okay.
favor?
All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed?
No.
Okay, can we move on now?
Yeah.
Is there anything else under that, Mr. Parker?
no. The next item is date and time of regular meetings. Of course, currently it's 10 a.m. on Wednesday of each week.
Do we want to stick with that?
Well, I make a motion to meet 4 times a year and when needed to pay county bills and for other emergency purposes.
And I make motion to keep things as they are presently.
We'll take,
Please do mine first.
Patsy has made a motion that we continue to meet on Wednesdays at 10 o'clock. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Can I ask why we need to meet every Wednesday? Mr. Treehouse,
Because
statute only requires 4 times a year and as needed to do the county's business, so I'm trying to understand why we're meeting every Wednesday.
Because
If you could explain that, I would appreciate it, so the public can understand.
I am following your footsteps and telling me that when I wanted to meet every other week, that we weren't able to, shouldn't do that, so we could pay our bills on time. Parker,
We can still pay our bills on time.
listen, I'm every bit about going every other week if you are. You know, that's what I
No,
want to do.
4 times a year and as required to do the county's business, so
You won't get anything done if you only meet. We have a lot going on. You only meet 4 times a year.
not listening to the motion.
Call the questions.
Well, the motion's been made. This motion has been made to continue as is on Wednesdays at 10 o'clock. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 No,
Opposed?
no,
Now we will take up Mr. Hinkle's motion to meet 4 times a year
and
and
to meet,
to meet,
do
to
whatever
pay the
the
bills.
No, to do the county's business as required by statute.
Thank you for clarifying that, sir. As the motion has been made, does everybody understand the motion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
No.
No. Next is appointments to boards and committees.
Actually, the next one is the agenda. You
Oh,
may,
the
if you-
notice, I'm sorry.
yeah, if you can't get into the program. It's the agenda, notice of meeting and meeting management. A is when available, draft agenda to be provided to the commissioners before available to the public. B, agenda will be available to the public before closure 2 business days prior to meeting date, normally unless a holiday, etc., to be available by close of business on Monday. C, agenda matters to be reviewed and/or considered during the meeting at the discretion of the corporate body and/or in compliance with statutory requirements. D, open discussion by commissioners unless certain matters would require an executive session per West Virginia Code 69A-4. E, input or recommendation from other constitutional officials, staff, or public as requested or required by the commission and/or as required by statute. F, motion required for consideration of vote, no second required. G, all votes are unanimous unless otherwise stated. H, Robert's Rules of Order will be utilized as a guide only. The corporate body controls meeting management, discussion, and input.
Motion to adopt as stated.
Motion's been made to adopt as Mr. Parker stated. Any questions, Mr. Hinkle? Mr. Hinkle? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? Motion's carried. Now can we do appointments?
Appointments. I've provided a list in the agenda on the 2020 appointments. I don't know if you have that in front of you or if you want me to go down the list and review those, what the current appointments are or the 2020 appointments are. I can do that if the commission so desires.
I so desire.
All right. Currently, the Benham Airport Authority, or not currently, 2020 appointments, Benham Airport Authority, David Hinkle and Ron Watson. Harrison County Board of Health was Commissioner Watson. Harrison County 911 Advisory Board was Commissioner Watson. Harrison County Ambulance Authority was Patsy Treecost II. Harrison County Community Corrections Advisory Board was David Hinkle. Harrison County Development Authority was Ron Watson. Harrison County Economic Development Corporation was David Hinkle. Harrison County Emergency Squad Board was Patsy Treecost. Harrison County Farmland Protection Board was Patsy Treecost. Harrison County Local Emergency Planning Commission was Ron Watson. Harrison County Parks and Recreation Advisory Board was Patsy Treecost. Harrison County Planning Commission was Patsy Treecost. Harrison County Senior Citizens Board was Ron Watson. Region 7 Planning and Development Council Board was Patsy Treecost. Workforce local elected officials, the Leo Board was David Hinkle. Region 6 Workforce Board was David Hinkle. WVU Cooperative Extension Service Advisory Board was Patsy Treecost.
I make a motion to leave them the same, except for Susan Thomas to replace Ron Watson in all his positions.
And I'll make our motion to make the changes that I put here on paper for everybody to read, and I can read out loud once I give you the pieces of paper. I'll put a motion on the floor at this time. At this time, my motion is that we put Clay Riley and Michael Romano on the Benham Airport Authority,
Oh, dear God.
Mike Jenkins as the Harrison County Economic Development Board, Susan Thomas as Harrison County Senior Citizens, Harrison County Veteran Advisory Board, Mid-Atlantic Aerospace Complex, Harrison County Emergency Squad, Harrison County 911 Advisory Board, Harrison County Local Emergency Planning Committee, Harrison County Development Authority. Commissioner Dave Capel, Area Aging, Region 6, Harrison County
I
Juvenile
refuse that position, Mr.
Local
Treecost.
Executive LEA Board, Harrison County Emergency Ambulance Authority, Region 6 Workforce Investment Board, Region 6 Planning Development Council, and myself on the Harrison County Board of Health, Clarksburg Board of Health, Harrison County Park and Recreation, Farm Protection Board of Harrison County Planning Board, and the WVU Cooperative Extension Service.
Mr. Parker, I think some of those require county commissioners unless Mr. Treecost has law to prove otherwise. I'm waiting for those answers.
I would have to research that very well may be.
Mr. Treecost, have you researched these appointments? And Ms. Thomas, have you and Mr. Treecost discussed these?
No, sir.
So you have no appointments of your own that you're wishing to bring up today?
No, sir.
So you're perfectly fine with Mr. Patsy's?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you've appointed 2 people to the board at the airport, which requires commissioners. So if you, is that how I understand it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I really want to appreciate you, Patsy, for the work that I've done out at the airport and for the development board. And I hope you find somebody, because it won't be me, that'll continue carrying that torch. It's another slap in the face to me by you 2 for the work that I've done bringing the money and jobs to this county. And I find it to show that I'm not sure that you really meant that you really wanted to have a commission that worked. Because you have removed me from everything that I'm in the middle of. And there's a lot of phone calls that have to be made in the next couple of days for some meetings. And I hope your new appointees are capable of jumping in feet first to make sure that we don't lose money. So good luck with your appointments. I will not help your appointments because they are not needed. That's all I have to say.
Madam President, I'll call the question, please.
Okay, you have before you, Mr. Treecost's motion on documentation. All those in favor of these appointments signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
And Mr. Hinkle's motion to leave the appointments the same as prior year, with the exception of myself taking Ron's place. Is that correct, Mr. Hinkle?
It really doesn't matter, Susan.
I just want to make sure I get it correct.
Don't worry about it. We've had lots of incorrect minutes in the past, so,
There you go. Talking
Doesn't
about
matter.
slapping the face, but I'm not going there.
Oh. hey, you
I'm
slapping
not-
me,
I'm
I'll
not
slap back.
going-
Hey, let's,
David,
let's go.
David, I'm not.
that's what you
I'm
and
not-
Patsy wanna do.
That's not what I'm here to do. So you've heard Mr. Hinkle's motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed?
No.
No,
Okay. And then I guess we make sure that those appointments don't require a commissioner. Okay, consent agenda.
I'd like every item read on the consent agenda, please.
Before you do that, may I ask a question?
There's no public here at the moment. We didn't have any public comments.
I just wanted to know, did I miss something? Did we do the hours of operation for the courthouse?
Yes, sir.
We did? Okay,
Yes, sir.
I apologize.
So you want to take the consent agenda one item at a time? Is that
Yes,
what you're?
ma'am.
Okay. Minutes and/or amended minutes of previous meetings.
We have none for this meeting.
Requisitions, purchase orders, invoices.
We have a large stack. I don't know where it's currently located.
I'm
I'd
not
like to-
comfortable doing anything with those until I review them.
Then I would need them removed from the consent agenda to be moved to the next meeting.
Monthly fiduciary commissioner settlements.
There is a motion on the floor, Madam
Oh,
President.
excuse me, I'm sorry. So you want the requisitions to wait till the next meeting? That's your motion, is that correct?
Haven't been approved by the commission, we can't vote on.
Okay, the motion's been made to move the requisitions to the next meeting because they cannot be approved. And I'm not gonna approve them without looking at it, I'll tell you that right now.
Thank you, Madam President.
So, motion's been made. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Now we'll go to D, monthly fiduciary commissioner settlements. No, it's commission settlements.
We have none that I'm aware of.
Monthly minutes, financial information. Wait a minute, John, do you have commission settlements right there? Is that what that is?
Yes.
Okay. There are settlements for fiduciary matters that the commission needs to act on. If you want to know what files they are, he can tell you the estates.
Unless it would be deemed an emergency situation, which is protection of life, property, matters such as that, they were not, available to the public for inspection, so technically, it would be my opinion, we could not act on those today.
They're
Prosecutor may have
all the time.
further input. Usually, there's a list provided in the agenda.
Not for these commission settlements that I'm aware of, unless June sent those to you. Nobody ever asked to see them before. But if that's how you want to handle it, that's what we'll handle.
I'm just-
And the people waiting on,
I'm
things
just-
that need to get done, that's the way we'll do it.
I'm just telling you
I
my,
don't hear a motion.
I'm telling you my interpretation of the open meetings law.
Maybe postponed to the next commission meeting.
Okay, we have the same motion to postpone the commission settlements until the next meeting. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries, and they will be put on the agenda for next week, and we make sure that they are, where do you want them up here?
They need to be available for public
Well, they are-
inspection
they would be
at our
available-
at the commission
How
office.
about a
They,
copy? Is a copy sufficient?
yeah, copy's
Okay.
sufficient. Yes, most definitely.
Joan. Okay, monthly minutes, financial information from various boards, committees, and public service districts. Do
We,
have any?
not that I'm aware of.
We move on to the next one. Petition of appeal from action of the Harrison County Commission, petitioners Emily Virginia Rockwell on behalf of the Harrison County Republican Executive Committee and Mickey Jean Petito. What kind of action do you want on this?
It's just for information purposes. There was an appeal filed and with the clerk's, circuit clerk's office. And then there was an amended petition filed adding the Harrison County Commission as one of the defendants. So they're both in the agenda just for information.
And why was the county commission added to the?
Well, in my experience, it's, the county commission is the legal entity and must be listed as a defendant in the cases. Each constitutional officer can be listed as a defendant in their official capacity or individual capacity. But for the county to be involved in a suit, it has to be listed as a defendant.
So.
And the commission,
Been listed as a defendant in a case, and this wasn't put on the regular agenda to discuss when we seek legal to represent us or to advise us on this. I'm rather surprised that this was buried in the consent agenda instead of being out for us to discuss who's going to represent us against this.
that's a matter the commission can discuss today, or we can put it on a future meeting.
I'd like to discuss today if we're going
Well,
to
I'm
be
leaving
sued.
the room. I'm going to recuse myself and you can discuss all you want. Since I'm a party to this.
So is this something that the prosecuting attorney is going to represent us on, or are we going to have to hire outside counsel? Because I'm going to guess we have to make some kind of reply.
Once it's set for a hearing, it's appealed to the circuit court. The circuit court will have to, as I understand it, schedule a hearing on this, and whether they would send it back to the county commission for a hearing, dismiss it, or hear evidence. The county commission will need represented at that circuit court hearing because it's your order, the county commission's order, that is being appealed. It's not Susan Thomas's order as the clerk, it's her actions when she was county clerk. But it's the order of the commission, which is, I don't think I copied that in the agenda unless they did, part of their, yes, they included their order in their petition. The order where the commission dismissed the matter is what is being appealed. So the commission will need legal representation whenever that is scheduled.
Madam Prosecutor, is this something that you're going to handle for us, or do we have to seek outside legal counsel?
I have not seen the paperwork yet, Commissioner, so it's a little hard for me to answer right off the cuff without at least looking at it, seeing what it entails, if there's conflicts for me in the office and the representation, given that it has county officials, numerous county officials now named as defendants. So if you give me some time, I could get back to you on that.
Would Monday be sufficient so we can get on the agenda for Wednesday the 13th?
That should be more than sufficient, yes.
When do we have to reply back to any of this, Willie?
We have no deadlines at this point because the case has just been filed. And until there's as I understand it, until there's a hearing set, the circuit court, it's a pending case before them, but there's no other action the circuit court has taken.
I'll look into that also when I look at it to make sure that we don't miss any deadlines.
Thank you.
Commissioner Treecost, I'd like to make a motion that in the future, staff does not put legal matters in the consent agenda, and they are listed as a item for discussion before this commission.
Madam Prosecutor, does it matter?
Whether they go to the consent agenda or the main agenda, I don't know without looking into it too much,
Can you let us know by Monday?
as to whether, sure,
Any alter motion from
is that, yeah, I think it needs
I
to.
don't know where to go with this yet.
Yeah,
I'm gonna rely on her for that,
and I'll talk to the prosecutor.
please.
But the consent agenda
Mhm.
is, the whole agenda can be a consent agenda. It's just a matter of some may require discussion, review, or action, and you can remove anything from the consent agenda to an action item on any agenda. So to bring more notice to it, we will make sure they're in the action items if that's the desire.
That's the desire. I would expect that anything that's like a contract or any time we're being sued or doing something should never be buried in the consent agenda.
We can do that. That's not a problem.
But this commission should have the ability to discuss it there and not have to go dig it out.
We can do that.
So I make a motion that with the next regularly scheduled commission meeting, that we determine whether or not we need to seek legal counsel outside of the courthouse.
I'll get to you guys by Monday, so that you guys have that information, at least from my perspective. to
And
move
we can make
forward.
that decision on Wednesday, 13th.
Is that what everybody desires of, is that okay?
Yes.
Okay.
We'll move on to D.
Are we done? You want me to grab Susan?
Please.
Susan?
We're moving to the next item.
G, please.
Approval transfer of leave for police approved by the county commission.
That should be policy. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
I was typo and didn't catch. But we've been submitting a list for review, or if there's any questions. But today you have the ones from Gary Hamrick, Rebecca Keller, James Tarango, Andrew Valentine, Mark Wagaman, and Wayne Worth, with the hours of transfer where they came from, where they were working prior to the previous employer. So,
The staff verified.
yes, these have been verified with the agencies that sent, or previous agency has verified these numbers, yes.
I asked if staff has verified it with HR from those agencies.
I did not call the DHHR. For example, I'll just use Mr. Hamrick, he's the first one. We have Lynn Huddleston, who is the Director of Employment, but I can if the commission so desires.
But you have written documentation.
Yes,
I'd like to see it followed up with verification. If we're going to accept all these hours.
You've got written verification, but you want, or you have written verification, right?
correct.
Oral verification that the letter was sent.
And you're just gonna confirm, and I mean,
Just
no
to confirm.
disrespect, Mr. Carter, but you're just, if he says that you got that, or you're okay with that, or you're okay with that.
If it go along with the written, unless you'd like something else added.
No, I don't need anything, I'm fine with the written.
the question,
Has there been a motion made?
I think.
I mean, I just heard the request.
It's just a, it's a request, it's not a motion.
Okay. I agree.
The commissioners have to agree to tell
agree.
Mr. Parker what to do.
Yeah, please do that one.
We can do that.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Okay, so that'll be back on later. Correct?
Correct.
Thank you. Letter of resignation from Susan J. Thomas, Harrison County Clerk.
Move to accept.
It's been moved to accept that letter. All those in favor signify by saying aye. I don't know if I should even do this. Any opposed? Motion carries, hopefully. Okay, you have oaths of office of myself for Harrison County Commission and John as the, and that probably should be interim county clerk.
Statute is just county clerk for
Okay.
up to a 30-day
Just wanna
period,
make
so
sure.
the oath would be correct.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure that was happening. Any motions for those?
Motion to accept.
It's been moved to accept these two here again. Should I be doing this?
I mean, I don't see a problem with Susan voting on the next commissioner. She's now resigned. And
Yeah.
then the next county
But
clerk.
as far as voting for my oath of office,
Say it again.
voting for my oath of office,
The previous one you're saying?
well, I'm in both of them. Accepting my oath and
It's,
my resignation.
I understand the motion just to accept this and make it part of today's record. I don't think there's any conflict of interest in doing that.
I'm not seeing one. You know, if I steer you down the wrong path, I will apologize ahead of time, but.
We're all learning, right?
Motion to adopt.
Okay, the motion's been made to accept, adopt these oaths. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Okay. Payroll change notices,
We have none that I'm aware of.
exonerations, corrected tickets,
Have none that I'm aware of.
consolidations.
Have none that I'm aware of.
Okay. Consideration of approval of a project fund requisition for the payment of costs associated with the project to be financed from proceeds of the Series 2019 bonds issued for the Charles Point Economic Opportunity Development District, Series 2015 A and B Development District Number 3, White Oaks Project Number 2, and Series 2008 A Charles Point Project Number 2, Northland Bay Improvements.
We have none that I'm aware of.
Number 7, consideration of approval of project fund requisitions for the payment of costs associated with the General Services Administration Building Project to be financed from proceeds of the Series 2020 bonds issued by the Harrison County Building Commission.
We do have 3 in the agenda. Requisition number 9 for Rycon Construction, $305,201.70. Requisition number 8, Selling Associates, $22,491. The last one is requisition number 10, Green River Group LLC, $147,777.74.
Willie, does the Green River include the downtime that we were fighting over when it came to the power?
No, those are not in there at this point.
Okay.
So how much are those?
I'd have to look, the asbestos, if I remember right, was approximately 22,000. The power was just at 19,000, and then there was a credit that we applied for 37 days of approximately $18,000. So the net is approximately $22,000 at this point.
But the dispute that I guess I would call a dispute, it called question of who's was responsible for this stuff and the downtime. We're not paying for any of that yet.
No, that's not in these numbers.
Okay, thank you.
when will those be settled?
I would assume it would be in their next pay requisition. Their next one should be a final with, assuming we get a release from the tax department.
Could you give me a total on that?
Yes.
I would like for the whole commission to have a total on that,
Yeah,
please.
please.
It's the commission that's making the decisions.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'd also like to know if there is a dispute, how it's handled through resolution or through legal action in court.
The contract calls for a court of competent jurisdiction if mediation does not satisfy the dispute.
So when will you have all this be prepared to bring to the commission?
I will get with the contractor and see if, because in our discussion, they were not, at least at this point, not receptive to the credit being applied to that total. And I said, well, because we had 3 time extensions that have been granted and or requested. One was 14 days related to the notice to proceed with no money attached to that. There was discussion between our engineering firm and Green River Group about the notice to proceed. So we moved the notice to proceed. The exact date, I think it was August the 5th, if I remember correctly, which was 14 days added to that notice to proceed. So the contractor, has that. And then they've got their extension related to asbestos, which I think was 20 days, I do believe. I'll double check that number. And then the power outage was another 14 days. It was a total of 44 days between all 3. That was a total of, there was a net of 44 because we took 37 days off of the 81, came out with a net of 44 days of time extension. That, were those 3. So it's a matter of whether the contractor agrees to that reduction of 37 days coming off the 81 is what may be in dispute at this point.
And also in dispute is who all is responsible for the downtime from us
Yeah, that'll be another,
and Sealing Associates.
yeah, that's another matter outside, possibly outside Green River's contract.
Okay. We're all gonna have an understanding.
I'm not all good. I'm trying to decide that if Mr. Parker's the one that should be negotiating this, or whether or not we should go ahead and appoint one of the people that you all appointed today to oversee these issues, because I think that we need an outside view of this and somebody to look at it as a whole instead of internal. So I would suggest either Chad Riley or Mike Romano to become involved in any negotiations with Green River to protect the assets of the county.
I think Chad would be a benefit to work with you, Willie, but you have been hands-on this whole time, and without a doubt, Chad would be at an unfair advantage without knowing what you know to advise you. So,
Okay.
So I agree. Well, let's get Chad Riley as an advisor.
But I would like weekly updates on this. I think it's something the commission shouldn't have to hear about through a consent agenda.
Okay. So let me make sure, motion to adopt and to have Chad Riley be an advisor to Willie. On future payments concerning Green River.
Aye.
All right.
I guess everybody's taking care of it.
Okay.
We can put Chad in there without it being on there.
We already have a contract with Thrasher Engineering for construction oversight, so he could fall within that contract, I believe.
And the motion carries. Okay, I think we're on number 7.
No, we just did number 7.
I mean, number 8, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I looked at 7 and was reading 8.
All right.
My bad. I'll get there, I promise. I don't know when, but I will. Review, discuss, consider engagement letter with, that should be, I think, Zimmerman with an S, Law Office, PLLC.
Yes, Zimmerman, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I make the motion to accept Mr. Zimmerman's law practice. I did talk to our Madam Prosecutor just to fill her in that it was what I wanted. I don't know how you two feel yet, but that she was okay with it and said she would, of course, work well with anyone.
I would like an explanation of why he was chosen, how he was chosen, what his qualifications are, and exactly what his duties are. I think in the letter it's very vague. And I understand the way I read it. I'm asking you, Patsy, I'm not asking Rachel, because the way it reads, Rachel doesn't have a thing now in Susan's thing because he's representing the county.
Well, he
Is
will.
that correct?
I'd have to see the engagement letter, but I don't think that this would just shut the prosecutor's office out.
And we have no intention of doing that ever.
Well, how do we decide when he's used and who decides when he's used? He's not going to be a personal attorney to any one of the commissioners.
But he will represent the commission,
Or
much like, I guess, in my opinion, in my previous experience, much like Greg Morgan did, Clarksburg City Council.
what previous experience was that with an attorney that represented you?
On the top, no different than Dean does at Bridgeport.
I don't know what Dean does for Bridgeport. I don't know what you had done in Clarksburg.
I'm
I
sorry.
think I deserve an answer, and I think if Harrison County deserves an answer, if we're gonna hire an attorney, we're hiring him.
I mean, I've been to Bridgeport's council meeting, I can speak for that. I mean,
I'm asking Mr. Treecost,
Oh,
he
I'm
brought
sorry.
up the
I'm
letter,
sorry.
he brought the letter to the commission himself personally to do this. So he personally talked to Mr. Zimmerman about this. You didn't, I didn't. So it's up to him to explain to this commission why we're talking about hiring. And if he doesn't have an answer for it, that's pretty amazing.
I do have an answer for you.
I'm listening.
I would like the commission to have representation in meetings and represent us in legal issues and he'll work along, of course, with prosecuting attorney's office on issues that come before us. There's a lot of legal stuff in here, Dan.
What, he's gonna come to every meeting and advise the commission
I hope he
On-
comes to them.
proper protocol?
I hope he does.
Is that something that you're interested in? Because in the last month you haven't been. So I'm just curious, are you gonna listen to him or are you still gonna do what Patsy wants?
Call the question.
Now, you can God bless me all you want, but you know, last month you violated state code and had no problem with it. So is Mr. Zimmerman's advice gonna be enough to get you to not violate state code? That's all I'm asking. Are you all friends? Are you acquaintances? I don't see the point in hiring somebody to sit there when somebody hasn't sat there for God knows how long, and we relied on the prosecutor. And we can ask her to put somebody up there and not cost us county commissioner or the citizens a penny. To advise you when you shouldn't do something, she advised you a month ago not to do something, and you did it. So what's the point?
Are you putting any?
Is that how it worked when you were at the city of Clarksburg as mayor? You just did what you wanted, you didn't care what Greg said?
Okay, it's been called to question.
I'm
Oh, you're not done?
not done. I'm waiting for an answer why we need this guy. And why Patsy felt that he could go out and hire him. Because I didn't get to discuss anything with the gentleman. He's not here today to discuss what he's gonna do for us. And if this was being done in the sunshine, he'd be here and all three of us would be talking to him. So I'm just gonna say, and it's up to the prosecutor whether or not she wants to back it up or not, but this was not done in the sunshine. We got a letter brought by a commissioner who went out and sought legal representation for this commission on his own. It wasn't advertised and it wasn't authorized. And if this is how we're gonna operate, we're gonna have a hell of a good time. So if you wanna go on with this letter, Patsy, let's do it.
Was there a question posed to me? I don't want to speak out of turn. I apologize.
It was whether or not you had any more to do based on his letter. Because it says he will represent the county commission.
There's a lot of information in that letter. Can I ask that it be tabled?
That's what I was.
Can we do that?
Sure.
You make your motion to table, Mr. Treehouse.
Sure.
I mean, that's from my perspective. I'm not prepared to speak on this, if that's okay.
Let me ask you, I haven't done anything on my own because I can't.
How'd you get the letter?
By asking for it.
Okay,
But
you did
but I
something.
can't hire anybody on my own. And all I can do is bring recommendations to council or to commission.
Now, the commission can determine recommendations.
Have I done anything wrong, Madam Prosecutor?
We can all discuss this in an executive meeting at some point in time. I think is the best way to handle matters like this with me as your counsel.
Okay.
Not every, okay?
Okay, it's been moved to motion to table. Number 8, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
To table.
To table, yes. Any opposed? Okay, number 9. Review, discuss, consider restructuring of duties of department heads and personnel. May require executive session per West Virginia Code 69A4. Note, in addition, this is a topic for a special meeting tentatively scheduled for Friday, January 8th.
Motion to table until Friday.
I'd like, it's on the agenda today, I'd like to see the list of people that are gonna be discussed, and I'd like to know why they're gonna be discussed.
Motion's been made to table this.
I make a motion to not table it
Okay.
and to discuss it today.
Okay,
It
David,
seemed to be important to put on the agenda today. I don't know why we're moving it to Friday. Mr. Tree possibly explain why we need to table it. Because what's gonna be said Friday can be said today. Or if it's gonna be next Wednesday, it's still gonna be said.
okay, you have made, Commissioner Hinkle has made a motion to discuss number 9 today.
I think it's only fair to the employees.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
No. Okay. Mr. Treecost made a motion to table this until Friday. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed?
No.
Did you signify?
Yes. That will be tabled until Friday. Okay, review, discuss.
I have one question on the item that's tabled for Friday. When will the commission be given information, or will it be given only on the day? And I would like to know who has this information already and who's notifying the employees.
Will you please read the email to David that maybe he didn't get?
Oh, I've read the email. I'm
It's
asking a
open for
question.
discussion for all personnel.
It's an email from you. I'm asking you what personnel are coming in Friday. Have they been notified?
I want to evaluate top to bottom.
Actually with the employee, or are we just gonna talk about the employees not present? Why can't you answer that?
Because Friday, I'm going to discuss it with you and my fellow commissioners and my county administrator.
Well, we're gonna discuss it in public.
Absolutely.
So why can't we discuss it today?
Because I asked for the meeting to be Friday.
But you asked for it to be on the agenda today.
No, I did not. I don't know how the word Friday sounds like Wednesday. But in 2 conversations and 2 emails, I stressed the point Friday.
Well, then let's just go ahead and strike the next one.
Motion to second.
You want to table it, not
Table
strike?
Friday.
Okay, number 10, which is review, discuss, consider prioritization of all projects to include status of projects with RICON, Sealing, and Bond Council. Note, in addition, this is a topic for special meeting tentatively scheduled for Friday, January the 8th. I believe Commissioner Treecost made a motion to table this until Friday, am I correct? Okay.
Can I ask how long the meeting's gonna be Friday?
Can I
And he's tabling all this stuff for Friday. I'm just curious when the meeting Friday's gonna start and end.
I've tentatively scheduled start time. That was one of the questions I had for 10 o'clock, and I'm not sure who all we need to invite from the different organizations, from RICON, Sealing. I've talked to Tom Amon. It's on his schedule as bond counsel. And I've advised the other companies, but I'm not sure who all you want in attendance.
Whoever can make decisions will it
Decisions on what?
on what we've discussed.
Who's we?
We as a commission can make decisions with the people that can make decisions from those entities.
Okay.
Thank you.
No. Who's we? On what decisions? On who? On what project? Is this all projects that the county's involved in?
I look forward to hearing your priorities for the upcoming year, Commissioner.
several projects to include?
I don't think I was asked about my priorities.
That's why we're having Friday's meeting.
I hope you bring your lunch.
Okay. The motion's been made to table number 10 until Friday. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. And no opposed. Motion carries. Number 11, review, discuss, consider project improvements related to the following. Number 1, law enforcement building at 609 West Main Street, Clarksburg, West Virginia. Under that, A is authorize staff to proceed with selection of A&E firm per 5G14. I guess, or whatever. Do we want to take those one at a time?
No, I want to table item 11 till Friday, please.
All right, I vote to approve
Vote to approve what?
the hiring of the AG and the continuation of getting the building ready for the sheriff. The
He
money's
made a
been
motion to
borrowed.
table, the motion's been.
It's here.
The motion's on the floor to table until Friday.
You have a motion to continue.
That's not what you stated in the beginning of your comments.
I voted to go out to get a architectural firm to continue with the
Okay,
sheriff's
so we'll
building.
take your motion to go out or approve. You want to approve
Approve it.
this, which is number 1,
Mhm.
A. Okay. Commissioner Hinkle has made a motion to approve number 11, 1A. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No,
There you go, Robert.
Next is 2, public safety building at 420 Buchanan Pike, Nutter Fort, West Virginia.
motion to table until.
Motion to table till Friday. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
No.
Aye.
Okay, number 12, review, discuss, consider necessary actions for cleanup of property at Wallace, Bricks and Debris.
What do you got, Willie? I don't know what to do with this.
I make a motion to clean it up, the county to, eminent domain on the property, clean the bricks up, and to turn it into a veterans park for the people of Wallace.
Do we have an estimate on how much the cleanup would be? Lord?
No,
Can we get that, please?
we don't own the property.
My motion was to take the property over from eminent domain, clean it up, and turn it into a veterans park for the people of Wallace.
Okay, we've heard,
Well, can you come back to us with the planning department?
Motion on the floor.
Discussion, please.
okay, is there any discussion on this matter?
Willie, I'd like to know who owns the property, what the status is of their ownership, if they're back taxes, if they're intend to clean it up themselves.
They don't, this has been on
And
for
also,
4 years.
if they decide they would like to give that property over to us, then I would like to know before we make a decision on cleaning up personal property, how much exactly it's gonna cost us. Please.
Again, motion on the floor.
And Willie, from now on, I'd like to know how much things cost us before we do vote on
Well, Mr. Parker, I'd like to know from now on, when Mr. Treecost has plans, that he informs the whole commission. If you can get that from him. Because evidently he has a plan for the rest of the money for the rest of the year that none of us are involved in.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor to clean up the property at, well, get eminent domain to clean up the property at Wallace that was turned up. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
Clean it up and to turn it into a veterans park for the citizens of Wallace. They have put up with this for 4 years.
I couldn't agree more, David, but I
It has
agree with
been a
Patsy. I
mess.
think we need to know how much it's gonna cost before we say we're gonna do it. But anyhow, there's a motion on the floor. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
And the only reason I'm opposed is because I wanna know how much it's gonna cost before we do anything. I'm all for cleaning it up out there. We've all heard it. I wanna get it
I
done.
mean, if it costs $30,000, $40,000, we spend it on doing other stuff. That's what we're here to clean up in those parts of the county. and
I agree,
supply
but I
those
think we need to
people
sit
with
down and
those
that's something we need to discuss in our
Susan,
priorities.
it's been discussed for 4 years, and this commission has used that same excuse that it costs too much. And they've left those people down there hanging with a mess for 4
I
years.
believe me, I
Because I have
understand completely.
voted
I've
for
talked
it
to them.
continuously.
I've talked to them, but anyway. Okay.
And I thought we set money aside when we raised the rates to handle projects
That's the
like
kind of
this.
stuff you need to talk about. Did we do that? Where's that?
Yes,
at?
we
You
did.
know if we did that.
Yes, we have a budget line item for those.
And we
And,
raised
Still
439.
thinking you don't want to go out and do something you don't know how much it's going to cost. But anyhow, did we vote on this?
Mhm.
Okay, so it's.
Sorry, Wallace.
We're there with you all. Let's just hang in there. Okay, 13, commissioner comments.
Before we get to commissioner comments, I noticed today that we did not do any comments from the public. And I don't know if anybody signed up from the public or had a chance to sign up from the public on Zoom.
Public comment is not on the agenda.
Why is it not on the agenda, Mr. Parker?
I did not notice it was not, under the statutes, you have to give the public, assuming they're, appear at least for either Zoom or in person 15 minutes before the meeting, so it would be appropriate to have a public comment period.
Is there anybody on Zoom that would like to speak publicly? Did they hear?
They would need to unmute themselves and
Is there anybody on the Zoom that would like to speak publicly to the commission?
Yeah.
Just
Hello?
tell us who- Can you hear me?
My name is Jim Harris, and I'm a resident of 902 Oak Street in Anmore, and I would like to make a public comment to the county commission.
Go right ahead, Mr. Harris.
Yeah, I want to say that I am terribly surprised and disappointed by the demeanor of the county commission today in your meeting. I don't know how you'll ever proceed forward with this kind of discourse between you. Every vote is 2-1. There is no congeniality. There is no opportunity for agreement. This sounds more like Washington, D.C. than Clarksburg, West Virginia, and I'm ashamed. I know all of you. I consider all of you my friends, but I'm ashamed of you. This should not be this way. You've got to get over the past and allow for the county to go forward. We've taken major steps backwards today, and I'm just really disappointed. That's my comment. Thank you very much, Susan.
Thank you, Jim. Anyone else? Anyone else on Zoom that would like to speak? Nope. No, have they, John? There's a sign-up sheet there.
No one's signed up.
Number 13, commissioner comments.
Two things, Willie. On the meeting on the 13th, can we go ahead and make it an agenda item to fill the clerk's position full-time
All right.
permanently? And
Excuse me, what was that?
Go ahead and read that back to him, Willie.
Agenda item on the 13th to fill the county clerk's position on a permanent basis, or remove the for the next 2 years or whatever the time period is.
And the second thing I have is on Friday's meeting, would you make agenda item number 1 to retain the services of David Morrison for Steptoe and Johnson to work with prosecutor's office for all personnel matters from this point on?
Have you had that discussion with him personally again? Not getting it, are you? It's a commission job, not a tax job.
Do you have any comments, Mr. Hinkle?
As soon as you're done.
I don't have any.
My only comment is that it seems like Mr. Treecost is going to run the majority of what the commission does going forward. He's already shown that by going out and seeking legal without any input from the other 2 commissioners, which is totally in violation of the Sunshine Act. So it probably is just the tip of the iceberg. As far as your appointments today, I think over the years, I've probably been slapped around a lot, but you 2 probably did the best job that I have ever seen. And I explained to both of you where we were at in a lot of projects for jobs in this county. And you appointed 2 people that don't have the foggiest idea what's going on in anything when it has to do with this county and economic development. And it just amazes me that you don't care about the people. As of today, I will resign from the development court and from the airport. I wish those people good luck. I will turn the files over to Eunice Thompson, but I will no longer represent the county or the airport at the state level, federal level, or with the customers. You all will have to figure that out, and hopefully we don't lose 400 or 500 jobs to you 2 being so, let's see, what's a good word for you 2 right at the moment? Stupid. And that's just the way I'll say it.
Thank you.
It's your personal, I want to be the big shot, means more than what the people of this county deserve. So I just wish everybody good luck. I will attend the meetings, and I will be the thorn in your side. And Mr. Harris put it right on. I'm gonna make you guys walk the line, especially you, Patsy. Because if I hear one more time about such a wonderful person you try to imply that you are, you're far from it. Susan, I know you said you've been to the meetings and you think you can walk in here and do all this. Good luck.
Thank you.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Stop the recording if you would.